Year 9, I hope you're keeping safe and well. My name's Mrs. Daglish and I'm Head of Business here at Northgate. I'm just going to spend the next few minutes talking you through GCSE Business so you can see if it's something that you might like to study.
Good morning, Year 9. I hope you are all okay and keeping well at home. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Miss Highland and I'm one of the other business teachers here at Northgate. I look forward to meeting you all hopefully in the near future. I'm going to pass you back over to Miss Daglish, who's going to tell you a bit more about business as a subject, so you can see if it's something that you're interested in taking for one of your GCSE options.
Now, I find this fact really interesting. 65% of you will have jobs in the future that don't yet exist. So that means some of you will be doing a job that currently nobody is doing because that job isn't a thing. It doesn't actually exist. And the reason why is because we are in an ever-changing world. So a world where technology is constantly changing and the way we do things is constantly changing. So how can GCSE Business help you prepare for this? So the way in which business can help prepare you is to provide you with some skills that you will hopefully find useful throughout the course and also further on into your studies or your career. So the first skill is the skill of problem solving. Now, businesses are facing problems all the time in the real world. You only have to look at the coronavirus pandemic to see that. So part of business is looking at what those problems are and thinking about, okay, how could they maybe overcome them? What sorts of things are they doing? What options are available to them? So we certainly look to develop your problem solving skills. Now, business does have quite a bit of maths involved, so please do consider that if you're thinking of maybe taking it as an option. There are some formulas for you to learn and there are some calculations for you to carry out, mainly surrounding the finance of a business. Now, business is all about making decisions, and in your written answers, you will be required to show skills of analysis and evaluation. So being able to take a point and develop it and explain what it means, and also being able to look at different sides of an argument and come to an overall conclusion, and making sure that that conclusion is well justified. So it's all about being able to make decisions, but to really demonstrate that you've thought in depth about that decision and you've given evidence as to why you think that's the right decision for the business or for the situation that you've been faced with. One of the things students often ask is, if I study GCSE Business, will it help me to set up my own business in the future? And the answer is that it will provide you with a basic understanding of business and get you thinking about the sorts of things you need to think about if you'd like to set up a business in the future. You can see on the screen here the topics that you will cover over your 2-year GCSE course. So the topics in the box at the top are what we cover in Year 10, and the box at the bottom are the topics that we cover in Year 11. So we start off looking at enterprise and entrepreneurship, so entrepreneurs being the people behind businesses, the people that come up with an idea and set up a business. We then move on to how you spot a business opportunity, and then once you've done that, how you put that idea into practice. We then look at how you make that business effective, and we look at the external influences on that business. And then in Year 11, we look at how you then grow your business, and we look at the 4 different functions within a business. So they are marketing, operations, finance, and human resources. We like to try and bring the real world into a lot of our lessons. So our business lessons involve a lot of looking at case studies and reading business news, looking at current articles. You can see here on the left, it's a typical case study that you would be perhaps faced with in an exam. So we go through those case studies where you're given a business and it gives you some information on them, and you then get asked a series of questions. We also obviously take a lot of news articles from places like BBC News and The Guardian, and we discuss what's going on in the business world. So wherever we can, we try to make your studies very current, and we try to make them so that they apply to the outside world. I've just collated some current business headlines that we might look at if you were in class with us. So the fact that Boohoo has just bought Dorothy Perkins, Burton and Wallis for 25 million. You've got Pretty Little Thing, who has just launched a hoodie with a clever inbuilt face mask for just £16, which you can see in the photo. We've got the fact that Jeff Bezos has said that he's going to step down, and Andy Jassy is going to step up as his successor. We've also got quite an odd story in the corner there about a farmer that's actually harvesting daffodils and finding that his costs are going up a lot, but you can't actually really charge any more than £1 a bunch. And then right at the top, we've got Ford that are starting to build electric Mustangs in China. So we'd kind of typically start off a lesson looking at maybe some news articles, and we build them into the topics that we're studying to bring our topics to life, because what you study in business is happening in the real world, and we try to help you see that as much as possible by using real life examples. Business involves analysing graphs, so you can see on the screen here what we call a break-even graph, and we will obviously teach you how to read one of these and teach you how to understand them. So there's quite a lot of looking at graphs and being able to interpret them. There are some calculations involved, which I said earlier on in the presentation. And as well, as I said earlier on in the presentation, we look at the skill of evaluation and justifying. So this is a typical 12 marker, which is the longest question that you will be faced with. And you can see here a typical response. So our lessons start you off on answering the shorter mark questions, and we build up to a question like this. So this gives you an idea of the kind of written skills required for GCSE business. Now the assessment is 2 exams, and they are each worth 50%. So one exam will assess you on year 10 content, and the other exam will assess you on year 11 content. And those exams are a mixture of multiple choice, short answer questions, and then extended writing questions, as you just saw on the previous slide, which are based on businesses and case studies. You can see on the slide here some future careers that business could lead to if you choose to pursue it in the future. So I'm not going to go through all of these with you, but it could lead to a career in accounting or banking or hospitality, human resources. You could become a sales assistant or a database administrator. You could go into information technology. So this just gives you some ideas of possible future career paths. And lastly, some inspiration. All of the individuals that you can see on the screen are really successful in the world of business. So we've got right at the top Sheryl Sandberg, who is the Chief Operating Officer at Facebook. We've got the likes of Richard Branson, who I'm sure you're familiar with, from Virgin Media. We've got Levi Roots, who became incredibly successful on Dragon's Den with his Reggae sauce. We've got Deborah Meaden, who is obviously on Dragon's Den and is an investor and entrepreneur. So this just gives you an idea of the successes that can come from really understanding business. I hope this presentation has given you a brief overview of GCSE business, but of course, if you do have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. My name is Mrs. Daglish, and you can see my email address there on the screen. I look forward to hopefully meeting some of you in September in our business studies lessons. Take care.